You're doing everything right. You're loyal, you care, you show up, you think that makes you a good man, and it does. But here's the truth no one tells you. Being a good man isn't enough to make her respect you. In fact, sometimes it's the very reason she doesn't. Because while you're busy proving you're good, you forget how to be powerful. And women don't respect goodness without strength. They don't respect comfort without challenge. They respect the man who doesn't need their validation to stand tall. In this video, we're going to break down the 3 behaviors that quietly drain your power. The ones that make her stop seeing you as a man she can trust, admire, or follow. Once you understand these, you'll never confuse being nice with being respected again. Behavior number 1. The man who can't say no. You think you're being kind. You think you're keeping the peace. Every time she asks you to change your plans, skip a night with your friends, or agree to something you don't want, you tell yourself it's not a big deal. It's just love, you say. But every yes you give when your heart says no quietly erases you from her respect. The man who never says no believes he's earning affection. What he's really doing is training her subconscious to see him as predictable, pliable, and safe, and eventually, invisible. When you stop saying no, you stop being a man in her eyes. You become her shadow, not her pillar. At first, she appreciates your compliance. It feels flattering, even comforting, that you prioritize her so much. But soon, that comfort turns into contempt, because deep down, she doesn't want to be with someone she can control. She wants to feel your strength, your ability to stand firm when she pushes. That's what makes her feel safe. That's what earns her respect. You might think, but I'm just trying to make her happy. The truth is, you're doing it to avoid conflict. You fear that standing up for yourself means losing her. But here's the paradox. Women don't respect men who orbit around them. They respect men who stand their ground even when it costs them comfort. Every time you surrender your boundaries, she feels it. It's subtle. Her tone shifts, her energy pulls away. She stops looking at you the same way. Not because she wants to hurt you, but because something primal in her whispers, I can't trust this man to lead. The real test of strength. She tests your limits not to break you, but to see if you can hold your frame. And if you collapse every time she pushes, she'll stop pushing, because she's already lost faith in your spine. So what should you do? Start saying no. Not with anger, not with apology, but with calm certainty. I can't tonight. That doesn't work for me. Let's do it another time. You don't need to over-explain. You don't need to soften it with guilt. Strength doesn't shout. It just stands. Your boundaries aren't walls to keep her out. They're the foundation that keeps both of you steady. When she sees that you can hold your ground with composure, something shifts in her eyes. She feels safe again. And here's the paradox most men never learn. The moment you stop trying to make her happy, you start making her respect you. Behavior number 2. The man who apologizes for existing. You say sorry without even realizing it. She bumps into you. Sorry. She has a bad day. Sorry. She's moody for no reason. Sorry again. You're apologizing for things you didn't cause, can't control, and shouldn't carry. And the irony? The more you say sorry, the less she respects you. You've been told your whole life that apologizing shows empathy, that it makes you a good man. But over-apologizing doesn't read as kind. It reads as weak. Every unnecessary apology whispers insecurity. It tells her, I don't want to upset you. I'll take the blame just to keep the peace. But peace built on fear isn't peace. It's submission. And a woman can feel that. She might not say it, but her body reacts. Her tone hardens. Her attraction fades. Because she's no longer looking at a man standing in his truth. She's looking at someone trying to survive her emotions. The sorry trap. There's a story I've seen too many times. A man who starts every conversation with sorry. Sorry for being late. Sorry for disagreeing. Sorry for having an opinion. At first, his girlfriend finds it sweet, but sweetness without backbone turns sour. One day, she looks at him and says what she's felt all along. I can't respect someone who's always walking on eggshells. That sentence hits harder than any breakup, because deep down, you know she's right. You've been trying to apologize your way into being loved. But love doesn't come from guilt. It comes from presence. And presence requires confidence. Every sorry you don't owe is a small act of self-betrayal. You're teaching her that your role in the relationship is to absorb emotional weight, hers and yours. That's not partnership. That's emotional servitude. Before you say sorry, pause. Ask yourself, did I actually do something wrong? Or am I just trying to manage her emotions? If it's the latter, stop. Replace guilt with action. If she spills her drink, don't say sorry. Say, let me grab a towel. If she's frustrated at work, don't whisper, I'm sorry you're stressed. Say, that sounds rough. Want to talk about it? See the difference? One energy apologizes for existing. The other leads. One seeks permission. The other offers stability. Stop filling silence with guilt. Learn to stand still in uncomfortable moments. Your presence doesn't need justification. The man who can hold silence without folding. That's the man she instinctively respects. You don't need to apologize for breathing. You just need to breathe like a man who belongs in the room. He used to have a mission, a purpose, a vision that made him wake up early, push harder, and move with intent. Then he met her. And slowly, without even noticing, she became the mission. At first, it feels beautiful, romantic even. You cancel plans for her, skip your workouts, forget the things that once made you feel alive. You tell yourself it's love, that sacrifice is proof of commitment. But that's not devotion. That's self-erasure. When a man starts orbiting around a woman, he abandons his gravity. And without gravity, everything falls apart. His discipline, his drive, his respect. The death of direction. A man without his own center eventually becomes emotionally homeless. He starts living through her moods, her validation, her approval. You stop living for the thrill of your own life and start living for her reactions. If she's happy, you're okay. If she's distant, you spiral. That's not love. That's dependency disguised as affection. And here's the harsh truth. No woman can truly respect a man who disappears into her world. It doesn't make her feel closer to you. It makes her feel responsible for you. And nothing kills attraction faster than emotional babysitting. Women are drawn to men in motion, men with direction. When you lose that, she feels it on a primal level. Her instincts start whispering, this man can't protect me. He needs me to keep him together. And the moment she feels that, she begins to pull away. You think she's being cold. You think she's lost interest. But really, she's responding to a law of nature. No woman can respect a man who's abandoned himself. How to rebuild yourself. So what do you do when you've already lost your center? You rebuild. You reclaim your life piece by piece. Start with your routine. Go back to the habits that once made you proud to be you. Get back to your gym, your hobbies, your craft. Reconnect with the parts of you that existed before her. Those aren't distractions. They're anchors. Protect your time. Have days that belong only to you. Friday nights with your friends, Sunday mornings with your goals. Guard those moments like sacred ground, because that's where your masculine energy regenerates. And most importantly, keep growing. Read, learn. Build. Improve. Because every new skill, every challenge, every small victory breathes life back into your masculine core. She doesn't fall for the man who worships her. She falls for the man she can look up to. The one who doesn't need her to breathe, but chooses her while breathing on his own. The paradox of attraction. And here's the paradox most men never realize. When you stop chasing her, she starts chasing the man she met. The man who had fire in his eyes, purpose in his chest, and boundaries in his bones. A man without a life of his own isn't a man she can follow. But the moment you reclaim that life, she remembers exactly why she fell for you in the first place. She doesn't test you to destroy you. She tests you to feel safe around you. Most men fail those tests miserably. Not because they're bad men, but because they don't understand what she's really asking. When a woman pushes your boundaries, questions your choices, or gives you attitude for no clear reason, she's not trying to start a fight. She's subconsciously asking one question. Can I trust this man to stay grounded when things get messy? Why she tests you. Every woman, on some instinctive level, needs to know that her man won't collapse under emotional pressure. It's not about dominance. It's about safety. Because if you can't stay centered when she storms, how will you stay steady when life does? Here's the mistake most men make. They take her test personally. They get defensive, explain, justify, overreact, and in doing so, they prove exactly what she feared, that his emotions are reactive, not regulated. Women don't lose respect because you fail. They lose respect because you can't regulate your response. Your calmness, or your lack of it, tells her everything about your strength. When she throws chaos your way, it's not because she hates you, it's because she wants to feel your stability. She wants to see if you can hold space for both of you when emotions rise. When you do, she relaxes. When you don't, she hardens. The two types of men. There are two kinds of men in her world. The first one apologizes before she even finishes her sentence. He overexplains, tries to calm her down, and ends up looking like a child seeking approval. She might appreciate his effort for a while, but eventually she stops trusting his energy. The second man doesn't argue or explain. He listens, keeps his composure, speaks slowly, and stands his ground. He doesn't match her chaos. He absorbs it. He steadies it. And that's when something shifts in her eyes. She exhales. For the first time, she feels safe. She's not consciously thinking, "Wow, I respect him now." It's deeper than that. It's biological. Her nervous system sinks to yours. Her guard drops. She becomes softer. What she really wants. The truth is, women don't need to win over men. They need men who can't be easily shaken. When you remain unbothered, not cold, not passive, just centered, you're sending one powerful message. You can trust my energy. I'm not going anywhere. Every time you stand your ground calmly, you teach her how to respect you without saying a single word. Because real authority isn't loud. It isn't controlling. It's quiet. It's still. It's magnetic. Respect isn't something she decides to give. It's something she feels. It's not earned through words, logic, or arguments. It's earned through your energy. The moment you lose control of your emotions, she feels it instantly. The moment you stop leading yourself, she stops trusting you. You can't demand respect. You can only embody it. Because respect isn't in the way you talk. It's in the way you stand, breathe, and hold tension without flinching. The power of stillness. To reclaim that power, you don't need to fight harder. You need to return to your center. Start with silence. The ability to stay quiet in tension is one of the most underrated signs of strength. When she tests you, when she's emotional, or when life throws you off balance, don't rush to fix it. Don't chase validation with explanations. Hold your composure. Let silence do the talking. Because a man who doesn't react immediately communicates confidence on a level that words can't touch. Silence is not weakness. It's the sound of self-trust. Boundaries that build respect. Next, boundaries. Not as punishment, but as structure. A man without boundaries invites chaos. A man with clear boundaries creates trust. You don't need to announce them. You live them. You embody them in your schedule, your tone, your consistency. Say what you mean. Mean what you say. If you say you'll be somewhere, be there. If you say you won't tolerate something, follow through. Because boundaries aren't about control. They're about stability. And stability builds respect faster than charm ever could. The mission beyond her now. Ask yourself, what's your mission beyond her? Because if she's the center of your world, you've already lost the gravitational pull that once made you magnetic. Your life must orbit something larger: growth, mastery, legacy, purpose. The deeper your purpose runs, the more naturally she aligns with it. A man walking his path doesn't need to prove his worth. He radiates it. She follows not because you demand it, but because your direction creates momentum, and she feels safe in that movement. That's real leadership, not control, gravity. Emotional sovereignty. And finally, emotional sovereignty. Learn to separate her mood from your own. If she's upset, don't mirror her. If she's distant, don't panic. Stay steady. You're not responsible for her emotional weather. You're responsible for your own temperature. That's what women deeply crave but rarely articulate. A man who doesn't get swept into their storms. When you stay grounded, she feels grounded. When you remain calm, she softens. You'll notice it in the way she looks at you differently, the way her tone changes. Not because you said the perfect words, but because you became the right energy. She doesn't respect the man who explains himself. She respects the man who doesn't need to. When you become the center of your world again, her orbit shifts back to you. Because leadership isn't about control. It's about gravity. The stronger your pull, the less you have to chase. Stop performing strength. Leave it. Respect grows in space, not in control. The more you try to prove your worth, the faster she starts to doubt it. Because every effort to convince her is an unconscious confession that you don't believe it yourself. Men lose respect not because they're weak, but because they start performing strength instead of living it. You over-explain. You argue. You justify. You chase validation through logic and persuasion. But respect isn't earned through words. It's earned through restraint. A man who truly knows his value doesn't need to fight for acknowledgement. He understands something powerful. Silence is proof. Presence is proof. The way you stand. The way you breathe. The way you handle tension. That's what speaks louder than any declaration ever could. The calm that commands respect. Here's the paradox. When you stop chasing respect, you get it. Because what you're really chasing isn't her validation. It's relief from your own insecurity. And when you let go of that chase, she feels it instantly. Your energy shifts from, please choose me, to, I already chose myself. That's the energy women respect. Not the loud kind, not the controlling kind, but the calm, untouchable kind that says, you can stay or go. Either way, I remain the unforgettable man. Think about the men women can't forget, the ones who linger in their minds long after things end. It's not the most charming man. It's the one who was unfazed, the one who didn't beg for closure, the one who didn't crumble when she pulled away. His calmness haunted her, because it revealed something she couldn't manipulate. True inner security. Detachment isn't indifference. It's power under control. It's knowing you don't need to control the outcome to remain whole. Your new code. Stop trying to fix her mood. Let her feel what she needs to feel. Stop trying to win every argument. Let silence be your final word. The moment you stop reacting to every spark, you start commanding the entire fire. A woman respects the man who can walk away without resentment. The one who can love her deeply, but never at the expense of himself. That's masculine balance, the fusion of care and control. When you stop proving your worth, she starts noticing it. When you stop chasing her peace, she starts craving your presence. Because now, you've become the rarest thing in her world. A man who's already enough. The return to self-respect isn't given when you chase it. It's given when you no longer need it. Because the man who doesn't need respect from others has already earned it within himself. And that kind of power, it doesn't shout. It doesn't explain. It simply stands. And the world rearranges around it. You don't lose her respect overnight. You lose it one small compromise at a time. One yes you didn't mean. One apology you didn't owe. One boundary you let slide. But here's the beautiful truth. Respect can be rebuilt. It begins the moment you stop betraying yourself. When you start saying no where your soul screams no. When you stop apologizing for existing. When you reclaim the parts of your life that make you you. Because this was never just about her. It's about you remembering your own value first. A woman can only respect a man who respects himself. And that kind of self-respect doesn't come from control or bravado or performance. It comes from inner peace. Your call to action. You can't demand respect. You have to embody it. Walk into every room like you belong there. Not because you're trying to prove something, but because you finally stopped trying to prove anything at all. Every time you hold your boundary, every time you breathe instead of react, every time you choose purpose over approval, you strengthen that quiet power that makes the world respond differently to you. So here's your call to action. Don't chase her. Don't try to change her. Just return to yourself. Start today. Stop saying yes when you mean no. Stop apologizing for taking up space. Stop living for her emotions and start leading your own life again. Respect isn't something you demand. It's something you become. If this message hits you, don't just watch. Transform. Subscribe. Leave a comment. Share this with a man who's forgotten who he is. Because somewhere out there, another man is losing himself one compromise at a time. And he needs to hear that it's not too late to come back home. Every man deserves to be respected. But it starts here. With you.